Today on Divorce Court. When a person goes to prison for a significant period of time, they become institutionalized. So when they get out, they have to get used to new things, how things have changed, and also just making decisions for themselves. Today, we're gonna meet a couple that is struggling with this very thing. He went into prison when he was 18, he came out at 30. Let's go into the courtroom and see how they are struggling with this very issue.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Christopher Davis and Frankie Dorns. The two of you have been together for 3.5 years. You want to stay together, but you're having difficulty maintaining this relationship, so you've come to me for my advice, and I'd be more than happy to give it. Mr. Davis, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the history of this relationship and how we ended up here today?
Well, what brings me here today is because I feel like my lady is not comparing herself compatible to me as meeting her woman standards. She hangs out, do certain things in her lifestyle that I don't feel like fit a woman's standards.
Okay, give me some examples of some of the things that she does that you feel aren't up to standard for a woman of yours.
Well, okay, being our age, we should have at least about 70% of our time together, and I agree with 30% of her friends' time together, but she takes a little bit more, sometimes the 50 to 70% hanging out with her friends, and it's really a rejection against me because her friends seem like they want to bogart her with using accusations like he's just being controlling, don't listen to him, don't agree with him.
Right. Now, Ms. Dorn, he says your friends get the majority of your time and tell him, hey, he's controlling, stay out with us. Is that true?
That is not true.
Do you go out a lot?
I do not. In the beginning of our relationship, I did, but now it's probably about maybe 20%. And I don't call like hanging out with my sister, going to the stores, going out. We're going to buy things that I need for the household.
Is she partying or is she just running errands?
Yeah, her friend owned the club, Your Honor, and she has took the initiation to be a bartender there.
Do you not trust her?
Yes,
Because, I mean, she's a bartender. They make okay money. And then, and is she bringing that money home?
I don't count her money. Her money is her money.
Right.
That's
right.
Real.
That's refreshing. I will say that, Mr. Davis. That's very, very refreshing.
Thank you.
But are you concerned about the environment in which she works?
Yes, I'm very concerned about the environment in which she works. Like, she has to go to the clubs Friday, Saturday, and as well as Sunday. And I'm telling her, well, I worked all week. I would like us to have this weekend together.
Alone. And,
yes, and they will be like, I tell her, well, if I was to say, well, I don't want you to go, you know, if she had to tell her friends, well, I probably ain't gonna be able to make it because, you know, Chris want me. Well, Chris, he acting like he's being controlling, like he controlling you to stay in the house. These are the accusations they will make.
Ms. Dorn, do your friends say that to you, that he is being controlling?
Yes, they do.
And why do you think they say that? What things do they bring to your attention?
As far as like I said, like running errands, like that's not something that someone should tell you that you can't do. And you know, sometimes as women, we go shopping together, we may go out to eat or something like that, and he has a problem with that.
To be honest, Mr. Davis, do you not like it when the girls go out together and go shopping and go out eating? Does that bother you?
I mean, it bothers me when I don't know this friend. This friend don't want to get to know me. It's off top that this friend don't like me. I can't even go to the club.
You can't go to the club?
I can't go to the club. I'm not allowed.
Is he not allowed to go to your place of employment?
That's true.
Now, Mr. Davis, I want you to lean back, open your mind wide like a prairie. Are you a dipper? Do you, where you going? Who you going with? Oh, yeah. What is? But she had once, and then, and if you go with her, you might be doing what she was once doing. What's good? Are you one of those? Are you one of those?
I'm not one of them. I can't say that because I tries not to do that, but I does.
You do it. Yeah, you do it. Because it's very specific. That type just popped up in my head when she said what she said.
Yeah, because I really wouldn't, excuse me, I wouldn't even really know she's going out. Well, I mean, I be done bought some new movies. Like a lot. One time before she went out, I bought Transformer movie and stuff like that, and we posted while we watching it, she's getting dressed, and I'm like, "Oh, you headed somewhere?" "Yeah, I'm going out here." Keep in mind, it's 12 o'clock. It's past 12 o'clock. So all of a sudden, my plans just got cut off.
You don't want to watch Transformer with my man?
No.
I mean, usually it's the women that come in here. I just want to spend time with you. He wants to spend some time with you. What do you make sure he feels like he's number one in your book?
I do. I definitely do. He's just paranoid. He always just thinks the worst of me when I'm out in public, and I don't know why. I try to do everything.
Has she done anything suspect?
Yes, ma'am. She has done things. When I first met her, you know, we grew up together all our life. Kind of like a young crush that I had on her for a long time. But I finally got with her like 3 years ago. And when I met her, went and dating, I was coming to South Carolina doing some work up in Ohio, dating Ohio. And she had a problem with clubbing, 3 o'clock. I don't know where she was at that
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
You're
because
right,
when you're young, you run around. That's what youth is for. I think there might be some other issues there that are at the base of your paranoia, and I want to discuss those now. You feel imprisoned even though you're not in prison anymore?
I feel definitely like I'm still institutionalized. I cook setups because I'm still learning the basics of how to cook. When I first got, I had to learn the basics of how to work a TV again.
Right. Mr. Davis, tell me about your background. I think some significant things have happened to you that may be playing in your current circumstance. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your background?
Yes, ma'am. My mental destruction that I had when I took a big fall in my life back when I was a teenager in 1999. I got locked up for something I didn't do. I received a life sentence.
A life sentence?
Yes, ma'am. South Carolina Supreme Court released me after 12 years in the year 2011. And it's just been a real toll on me as going through a mental facility or helping me trying to cope back with society since I lost them boy and girl relationship times.
Right.
You know,
have you seen anybody about that?
I'm
Because
still...
I've never been there, you know what I mean? And I don't think I'm qualified. I think I understand the scope of it, but I think you are deserving of some help. Have you had somebody help you?
It's really kind of hard finding help. I have been going to a mental health facility, and since, you know, being a felon, they count that against me, and they don't want to give you Medicaid as you being a felon, so it's me having to pay for all of my bills and expenses myself, so it's really been difficult to gain help, to also to get relief for the cause that the court system has done in my life, to get that type of relief, assistance to help me get that relief. It's been really a hard walk.
Okay, Ms. Dorns, do you believe that the fact that he was down for 12 has affected how he's able to interact with you?
Absolutely.
Tell me in what ways you see that manifesting itself in your relationship.
As far as like our day-to-day living, he secludes himself, you know, like basically like he's still in jail, you know, like it doesn't mean anything for him to interact with a whole bunch of people. Gotcha. And myself, on the other hand, I love to interact with people.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel imprisoned even though you're not in prison anymore?
I feel definitely like I'm still institutionalized. I cook setups because I'm still learning the basics of how to cook. When I first got, I had to learn the basics of how to work a TV again.
Right. Heck, I've been out here and I don't know how to work a TV. I mean, you gotta have a degree. You know, they got 97 remotes. I can imagine how difficult it is for you.
It's like all the things that they took from you and they take the rights from you, those are the things that you lost to. So, you know, when you get back in society, when all these opportunities are thrown right back onto you in the free world, you don't know how to handle it. So that's why I've been lost at, and that's why I'm trying to cope back with. And I do understand that I institutionalized with her toward our relationship because, you know, being in there for so long and having to get rough with people who I feel disrespected by and stuff like that, I can lose my mind with her too, also in the same way. I don't touch her, but you know, my mouth can be nasty and stuff like that because
you're conditioned to have to be that tough guy, and then now that you're out, that conditioning just doesn't up and walk away because that's how you had to conduct business for 12 years.
Yes, ma'am.
In what way do you try to ease him back into society as we know it now? Have you really addressed it specifically?
I haven't addressed it.
Yeah.
I just, you know, like when we first got together, I didn't even take into consideration about the time he spent in prison, you know, with the wrongful conviction. I haven't invested enough into that, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and when you're with somebody, you got to take them with whatever weak, whatever hurt, whatever wound they've got, and you can't pretend it isn't there and then wonder why he isn't the guy, or you know, he's got all these proclivities that you don't like. If you love him, you have to address his pain.
Right. She had stole pictures of us off of our Facebook and like wrote crazy stuff on top of them and shared them on her face about her and him, and then disrespectful comments to me.
Would you marry someone who spent their formative years in prison? Tell us what you think at facebook.com/Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back.
You still have concerns about her fidelity, though. Is that true? I mean, is it real? I mean, given now we've all got a little perspective now that you're not trusting for good reason.
Yes, ma'am.
You're on guard for good reason. You're not been in a position to be, I can just be comfortable being vulnerable for good reason. Given all of that new perspective, do you really still think that Ms. Dorns is doing the wrong thing when she's not with you?
Well, I got several issues. I can turn you back to something else that we're not
Please do.
Like she grabs all my information. Like, you know, she be on my Facebook talking to friend girls from back in the past or start want to communicate with me, ask me how I'm doing and stuff like that on Facebook. She'll have a whole conversation with them, pretend like she's me. The friend girl might say, well, how you doing? Wishing you blessings. And she'll text back and be like, well, it's Chris, when we gonna get up? You know, when we're gonna see each other and stuff like that. And you know, talk the girl to it. She might be like, okay, well, we can talk. And then she'll turn around to me when I get off from work. Well, the girl, you still messing with her? Y'all talking about meeting up? I'm like, no, we not talking about meeting up. Y'all talking about meeting up. You know?
Yeah, I got you.
You know?
I got you. Ms. Dorn, do you do that? Do you work a situation around till it looks bad for him when you really started to mess?
Well, it's only like 70%.
70%.
Because I mean, I will just open the conversation with, "Hey, how are you doing back?" And then, you know, usually they'll say, "Well, I want to see you," or "I seen you the other day and you waved at me," or "You asked me for my number," and you know, and stuff like that. So it's not like it's.
Yeah, but that's on their behalf.
Yeah.
It's not. He's not saying, "I saw you other day. I waved at you." They're saying that, and I'm sure what they're doing is they're poking out. They're putting it out there to see if they can get him to grab. But you grab, and then you get mad at him because you grabbed. You see what I'm saying?
Well, sometimes they give me information that I didn't know.
Such as?
That maybe that he's communicating with them.
What leads you to believe that he's give me a circumstance where someone said something that leads you to believe he was already doing the wrong thing.
For instance, the one girl who said that she had been seeing him. We had separated actually, and we were working on getting back together, and she had stole pictures of us and like wrote crazy stuff on top of them and shared them on her face about her and him, and then disrespectful comments to me. And that just led me to believe, like, why is she reacting that way? Like, you obviously have been communicating with her or seeing her, because if I wasn't seeing somebody for years, I'm not gonna do anything like that.
Don't live your life on that screen. People spend, I just had somebody, there was like this, he said this famous actor, like Denzel Washington or something, he asked me for $500 and I gave it to him, and now I found out it wasn't really Denzel. Of course it wasn't Denzel. He don't need $500. And if he did, he wouldn't need it from you. It's just, you get on there and it's a whole world unto itself. People start mess for no reason at all, other than to see if they can put a wedge in between you and him and maybe snag him off of you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's not responsible for the messy, silly stuff, and I'm telling you, people do it. Messy, silly stuff that people do on Facebook. You're the author of your own angst. You know what you could do is you could be helping him instead of running behind him trying to figure out if he's running around with other people, because he got plenty of help he needs. So instead of spending your time with that, and now I'm going to tell you what I think you need to do for him.
What would you think if your partner constantly accused you of cheating?
Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. I cannot pretend to understand that I understand what the transition from institution to real world is like. Can't believe it. But I can say that it is not something that can be ignored if you're a person that cares for him. He's got to relearn things. He's got to learn how to trust. He's got to learn how to be vulnerable. He's got to learn how to love. And you have to be an active participant in part of that. You with me on that?
Yes.
Get off of the stirring up stuff with other women. Teach him how to trust by being a trustful person. Just say, hey, I ain't worried. You know what I mean? I love you. I trust you. If he's doing something wrong, it'll come to light soon enough. Why go in there and try to dig it up? Why go in there and try to create a problem that isn't already there? It's just, jealousy is its own ugly master. And you're making yourself miserable 364 days of the year, just in case on the 365th he does something wrong. I'd rather be hurt on 365 and enjoy 364. And if I find out on 365 he ain't no good, pow, he goes. You know what I mean? But I don't. Every day, this woman could be, I'm gonna pregnant you. You know what I mean? That's inviting your own angst. It's crazy talk. You with me?
Yes,
you gotta teach him how to trust by being trusting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He lost a lot of the ability to do that because he was in a circumstance where he didn't have the opportunity. So don't come out here and require him to face that kind of distrust in a place where he can learn it. You got that?
Got it.
Mr. Davis, stay strong. Stay out. Stay calm. Follow her lead. Walk slowly. This matter's adjourned.
I was judged for not being supportive with Chris, and in hindsight, maybe I wasn't as supportive as I should have been, and I'm going to do better at that.
I've been out for 6 years. My advice for those men coming out is the people might think you odd, but don't feel that way. Keep on doing what you're doing and stay in the right track in the right places, and God bless.